So your business scope ultimately leads to an understanding that core competency and your capability. I believe you can't manage 3 core competencies. You can manage 1 because there's so many things that come off it.
We try to do a couple things when Great Oaks hosts these events. The first thing we're trying to accomplish is to provide some level of enlightenment or perspective that the young entrepreneurs don't necessarily have. We're investing in the best and brightest coming out of a wide range of universities. The one thing they really lack, though, is perspective and experience. And so we have a team of advisors that we've engaged, really talented people from a variety of industries. Scott really grew up in advertising and brand management, Howard in education, programming. And so we bring these guys together to really get our entrepreneurs the perspective of experience from people that have lived it for long periods of time. So that's the first thing we're trying to do. The second thing is simply this: by bringing together groups of our companies, we can precipitate synergistic relationships that might not otherwise have developed. And so we hope to continue to do this. We think it's very valuable for our portfolio companies at a couple of different levels. And frankly, we enjoy it as Great Oaks teams, right? I mean, getting our people together, talking about what they're doing. It's difficult to do when you have as many portfolio companies as we do, so it's very efficient for us to pull them together and be able to work the room a little bit and really get caught up on their latest developments.
I'm Andy Bozar, founder of Great Oaks Venture Capital. We're a venture capital business focused on digital technologies. We invest in entrepreneurs. Basically, 80% of the value proposition that we get is from intellectual capital. We're looking to marry a small amount of financial capital to test an idea for a moderate amount of capital to see if it could be commercialized.
We feel very comfortable introducing them to a lot of the companies that I'm friends with and other founders, just because they're such a founder-friendly company. I think they really understand what it means to build a startup and make money and connect people to the right advisors and the right teams.
One of the areas that I particularly enjoy is the relationship with the University of Wisconsin and really working with some of these very, very young student teams. Mentoring, I have to say I learn as much from them as they learn from me. I tap into their energy, I love their passion, and I love the speed of work. You just don't get that with established companies. They can turn on a dime, and they can try something. If it doesn't work, they'll try again. And doing that has been tremendously rewarding for me personally, but I also know for Great Oaks as well.
My name is Dan Reich. I'm the former co-founder of a company called Spinback. I work with a couple of the startup companies in the Great Oaks Capital portfolio, companies that relate to my experience both in ad tech and social media marketing. And so what I tend to do typically with those companies is help them through the various stages of their life cycle.
Hi, I'm Kevin Davis. The name of my company is Raw Porter. Had a great time at the Great Oaks event tonight. I can tell you these guys have a ton of experience, and it was a great learning experience, especially if you're an entrepreneur, especially if you're in the startup space, and especially if you're learning or trying to figure out how to do business better.
I'm Jasmine, and I'm with Trump Hotels New York, the marketing manager. And what I appreciate about Scott's presentation today was his prolific experience in marketing and different ways of using a series of questions that he offered. So I really learned a lot today.
Scott is a very, very talented guy. He's hired by Fortune 500 companies to provide high-level consulting services on a lot of business strategy issues that don't just apply to Fortune 500 companies, but really transcend size and stage of development. And so Scott came in today to provide these entrepreneurs who have really key ideas that can disrupt industries and change the way business is done, but help them stay focused on what the key issues that they as founders should be focused on, right? So the art here is in the subtraction, not the addition, because you've got a finite amount of time and capital. What do you take away and what do you focus on? So if you think about it in terms of writing, we're trying to, Scott, the art of business strategy is taking pages to paragraphs, paragraphs to sentences, and sentences to keywords. It's the power is in simplification and focus. And so Scott talked about ways, what it is you've got to focus on, how you use those focused answers to lead you to the right strategic insights, and then build your tactical strategies around them. And so today's talk was sort of very general. A lot of what he did today, which he crammed into a little over an hour, he would normally do in front of a Fortune 500 company to their senior management team over a multi-day period, maybe 2 weeks of 8-hour meetings. So we really hit the high-level stuff here today. But what we're trying to do is precipitate dialogue and thought on the founders' parts. They can always come back to Scott and to Great Oaks to really do a deep dive on any of these aspects. But that's really why we had Scott here. We think he's one of our best advisors, great mentor with really great insights into the big picture issues that are critical in the execution of an early stage company.